Hello, lovely people. On this Friday evening, it's 8 o'clock-ish, and we are here with Jo Weedon from Weedon Melbourne. So welcome and thank you. I've had a chat to a couple of people about today, so I'm a bit excited about tonight, actually. I have had no idea up until about 2 hours ago that what I was going to make, but, you know, it all works out in the end, so that's okay. I thought I would show you what a few others have been talking about is our new trimmer from Stampin Up. I've only used it a couple of times simply because I've not been at my table very much at all, and so I'm still learning to use it, but so far it's great. I'm loving it. Let me just see. Oh, my words are backwards, so I can't read the words. G'day, Julie. How you going? As in on the telephone, on my mobile phone that's up there. So I'm sorry if I don't reply. Here we go. Okay. Hi, Libby. G'day. Thanks for joining me. So this is our new trimmer, and I'm just checking. No, the glare isn't too bad, is it? I'll try not to move it around because I've only got a lamp on, so I don't want the glare annoying you too much. So obviously Stampin' Up have changed their trimmer, and I'd say it's kind of a dramatic change actually. Here's the previous one. Now I've tried not to watch too many other people's videos about them and read what they have to say so that I'm a bit swayed by them. I decided I wanted to do my own kind of investigation. And so I've discovered that the old trimmer was 610 grams, whereas our new one is 418. So that's a fair weight difference. And when you're moving things left and right and around, it can kind of make a big difference. I love that it's more rectangular than this one. I know this was supposed to be, I guess, ergonomic, but I find, I don't know, I just like the straighter edges. It seems to work for me. The old cutter, the old trimmer was $49.45, and this one is now $44. So once it's made available to customers, that's what you'll be able to pay. Of course, if you choose to sign up as a demonstrator with me, hopefully, or with somebody else, you would pay $35.20. So there's what is it, $9 or so that you can put towards a stamp set or some cardstock or something else that you might like in your kit, in your starter kit, that you can certainly that you can purchase along the way. The other interesting thing is the blades are significantly different. Let me remove this one for you, so that I'll just take the arm off the old one so that you can have a look. Have a look at the difference in the sizes here. So this is the blade from the old trimmer, obviously, and this is the new one. So the actual cutter part is deeper, so that means you're going to get a better cut, and also I'm hoping it will last longer as well. But they're certainly sharp. They cut my finger last week at class, or last fortnight in class, so the blades are fantastic. And the other thing I found is that because this one was so short, it meant that when you're running up and down the track, I'd actually hurt my finger sometimes because it kind of, your hand runs off, whereas this got a bit more of a substantial handle, I guess. And I think that would work better for those that have difficulty with their fingers. It's probably a bit easier for those people that might have some problems with their fingers. So with that and the scorer being larger, I think it's more user-friendly for everybody. The one thing that I did see on someone else's videos, I think it was Andre from New Zealand, he changed his blades around because the scoring blade was actually on this side, and on the old trimmers it was like this, and that's how I trained now, so I had to change my scorers around as well. So I'd be intrigued to see if there's other people out there that have done the same so that it works in that way. So apart from that, the biggest thing that lots of people have commented on is the centimetres are up the top here, but they don't run along this arm. So that can either be, we might approach Stampin' Up and suggest some sort of adhesive of some sort that we can put on there, or I might even come up with something in order to make it. But it's not unusable at all. It just means that when you're cutting one way, you've got to move your cardstock around in order to measure it the other way. So it's certainly workable. The other thing I did like too is this track here, where the score blades run through, the score and the blade runs through, is smaller. And so it means that there's not as much of a dip, and it's all inbuilt, so you actually don't have to remove the inner track like you used to for the last one. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with it. I'll just be interested to see how long the blades, the cutting blade works for. And the other advantage as a scrapbooker, although I've not done it very often, you have a full ruler with very minimal numbers missing here, although they do have it written there, so you can actually visualize where the centimeters are in between the Bermuda Triangle here. But it slips away really nicely and it's compact, so I think it's really great. I'm pretty happy with it. So I'll let you know how the blades go, as I say. So having said all that, let's move on to what we're going to make, or what I'm going to make tonight. Ta-da! So let me just check and see who has commented. There's Rails. G'day, g'day. I spoke to you earlier. Hope everything's good. And Libby again. Hello. So I thought I would make a card using current products from a layout that I've used previously. So this used Lasting Lily, I think this stamp set is, and it's testing my memory. Let me have a look at my recipe. Lasting Lily and Something Lacy is the background on this stamp, on this card, and I haven't written down when I made it. But what I have is, and if somebody would like a copy, I can certainly put it up on my page. I'm not going to show you the written information only because it's all backwards and I just find that really confusing when I look at the video later. So I'm not going to throw that around. But I do just want to show you the project recipe sheet that I have. So the name of the project here, my cardstock and the measurements, my ink colours, my stamp set, the tools that I need and any additional items. And this ensures that I have everything that I need for my card class. Or if I want to make this card later on, like Exhibit A, I've got all of the measurements written down. So for that reason, it's great. The other thing, of course, is so that if people see a card that they want to share or they want to case from my items, then I can certainly share that information with them reasonably easy as well. So lots of good reasons to have all that written down. So let's play. I am using today a Night of Navy background and Balmy Blue cardstock, which will go in the middle here. So I'll get rid of that one, and I'm going to ink up the Crackle Paint background stamp. So I've decided to try and make it, and if you can hear that background noise, that's my cat walking through the other side of my room, trying to climb up and come to me. But he might get distracted and go elsewhere. So inking up my stamp to make sure it's nice and wet. Tiger, you're going to crash if you keep going. So I'm going to stand up so that I can see that there is ink everywhere and that I can rotate it and put it on here and give it a little bit of sepia. There we go. So this card kind of came to me this afternoon, and I thought I'll just have a bit of a play. I'm not quite sure how it's going to work out, and as you can see, I've actually kind of put it on a little bit crooked, but that's okay. In the end, it will work. Now, if you know where my aqua painters are, my aqua pens, that would be really great if you could share that info with me, because I just don't know where it is. So what I'm going to do is use a paintbrush, which mightn't actually be taking the paint too well, the water I mean, because I actually wanted to smudge it a little bit, but this paintbrush isn't working very well. So we'll see how this goes. I wanted a bit of a kind of a bleed of the ink. So I'm not quite sure that it's going to do that. I might need to use the ink pad, but then I don't want a huge amount of ink spreading through, you know. I just want a bit of a subtle one. So it hasn't really even spread it, because I actually want it to look like water. So that's what I was hoping for. So maybe, and I'm sorry I can't see your comments at the moment, just with the angle of the phone, and when I look up to my phone, the light is actually in my eyes, and so I can't focus on that, and I can't see anything on my computer at the moment either. So I'll do an F5 and see if that'll work. So let's try this. Add a little bit of water. I'm really perplexed as to where my aqua pens are. I've got about 4. And while you're looking, can you let me know where my shimmer paint is too? My Wink of Stella, please, because I've misplaced that as well. So a little bit frustrated about all of that. So I'm just going to give this a bit of a wash. Although it's not really taking, so maybe my little idea in my brain isn't going to turn into what I actually wanted. And that's okay. It just means I've got a different opportunity for something else. So I kind of like the idea of not having an example to show you, because then we'll both be surprised with how it turns out in the end. So there you go. I've done that. I'm going to give it a really quick dry, so excuse the noise, I'm sorry. Really quick dry with the heat tool, just so that it picks up and dries up most of that water. But in time, obviously, it will dry as well. There we go, that'll be fine. So next what I'm going to do is run it, as you can see with my original one, is run it through the Big Shot. Get that water out of the way. And then place, I'm going to actually turn this card on its side, so I'm going to place the circle like that, and I'll put my very old tired plates through. I'll give that a go. There you go. So finding my base. So I've already put the tape on the back. The reason being is I've got false nails on at the moment because I had a hen's night over the weekend and decided to frock up and get them done. But fake nails don't work very well with double-sided tape or with removing the back of the tape. So I've needed to use a scalpel, whereas ordinarily I'd have all that removed without you having to see. But I'm struggling a little bit. So I'm going to turn that around this way. Oh, hang on. Before I do that, I've got a white piece that I'm going to stick onto the back. Oh, now hang on a minute. Now that I'm actually thinking. Do as I say, not as I do. So, here's a trick that I do occasionally. When I realise that I've actually got some more steps to do before I stick this down, I'm putting the backing of the tape back on. So that I can stamp part of an image onto this piece, because this is the white piece that goes at the back here, and so I need an image. So this time I'm using, this stamp is Waterfront, which I borrowed a friend Susan's stamp a while ago for some golf cards that I was making actually, and decided that I actually really liked it. So that's what I ended up buying it, because I borrowed hers. It was fantastic. And the only other thing I'm going to do as an afterthought is to stamp the birds and make sure that I get them the right way so that they're flying and not crashing. So here we go. I'll put that there. Oh, good. I didn't get much of a smudge on the side from rocking and rolling too much. So there you go. That's that. And I'll show you the rest of what I'm going to do in a moment. So now, if I turn that around like that and lightly put that down, and I can see, because I've got the tape already on the back, I'll see that I can pick this up and I get all that like that. There we go. So you can see it's coming together already, and I've got tape on the back, as I said earlier. Okay, put this down. Oh, I'm going to stand up again. Please tell me some of you stand up to stamp and to line things up. There we go. It goes down on there. I am going to comment on people's comments after I finish this, so I apologise. Ask questions, make comments, make me giggle, do all of that. I'd be happy to comment when we finish. So using the Sailing Home stamp set, which is just gorgeous, I've decided to stamp the lighthouse in Night of Navy, and I've only stuck dimensionals to the top 2/3 of it, because what I'm going to do is use a little bit too much wet glue, and I'm going to stick that down but have the other up, so that there's sort of a bit of dimension, a bit of layering going on. So that's on there. Ah, guess what? I didn't put the burlap on. Here's another rookie mistake after 10 years you think I might have learnt, hey? I was going to put burlap around there. So I'll see if I can carefully pull this up. Here you go, here's another one. All you need to do is pull up the top layer. Don't bend it, but you just kind of encourage it to go up, so that it's not actually folding and it shouldn't scar your cardstock. If you do it carefully enough, there you go, you can actually get it up without damaging, and maybe it'll just add to my crackle effect, hey? Just turn my speaker off so it doesn't beep beep in the middle of my chit chat. Oh, and there's no tape there. That'd be right, wouldn't it? Whoops. Okay. So this isn't going as smoothly as I like, but it's all fixable. And this is how we do it. This is how we roll. It's all okay. They're all opportunities for learning, and they're all opportunities for fixing things up. So here we go. So I'm going to wrap this around the bottom here and try and line it up properly. And then do the next layer. Is it going to make it? Oh yes, it is, just. So I'll actually cut this off so that it's not too long underneath. There we go. And now I can stick all of that down. Okay. There you go. And you have a little bit of variation so that you can see the colour and everything in between. So that's that so far. There you go. And then I was going to do the sentiment. So I'm actually going to use this card for my husband, whose birthday it is tomorrow. And so I really like this one. You Are My True North, which again is from the Sailing Home. And he was, not so much anymore, but was a scuba diver. And so the whole idea of doing something water-based is fantastic. I really love it. I don't know, maybe should I do it on blue, or maybe I should do it on Whisper White in the navy? I think that might work better. So, a good excuse for using some scraps. So let me remove this. And we use the Night of Navy ink. Tap, tap, tap. Don't know if I'm getting my head in there. I didn't even notice, sorry. There we go. Push that down. Ta-da! It actually worked. So yes, his birthday tomorrow, and then I've also got my niece's birthday next week, my sister's birthday next week, my Year 12 student daughter graduating. So we've got a big week coming on. Okay, so while I'm here, I've already done an insert for my card here, but I thought I would show you just how easily this slices, which I know it's a bit obscure because you can't, you don't get the touchy-feely thing, but it really is effortless. It's really great to slice. And initially I thought that this sort of clicks down a bit hard, but it's actually really good because it holds your cardstock in place. Probably better than the last trimmer, I think. And while I'm here, it's the end of the roll. Oh, where's my scalpel? Let me find it up here. There we go. So is everybody organised for Christmas? Bit of a strange word in our household. I'm not quite ready for it all, but we've still got a bit of time to go. And I'm loving seeing so many other people. Oh, look what I just did. Look. I just smudged my words. So I'll have to do that again. I wonder if I can fit it onto this one. let's see how precise I can be, hey? So, I might just move it down a little bit. Ooh, not bad, huh? I'm happy with that. So I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to put an image into the inside of my card because, well, an image and another sentiment. Because while I've got You Are My True North, I do want a birthday sentiment on the inside. So I will find another block, excuse me. There we go. So I'm going to let that dry because my ink seems to be quite juicy. Juicy, juicy green grass, to quote an Australian children's singer. So I'm not sure, have you seen this little tip that I learnt a couple of years ago? I'm going to do like an reverse arrow edge. I'm not quite sure what it's called. So you cut up into the middle of your point here, and then that gives you a place in which to line up your blades. And it, more often than not, it works that you get an even edge. So we do that again, like that. And hoping that I'm not smudging this again. Here we go, and ta-da! See? I'm really happy with that. I like that little trick. I use it a lot. A couple of dimensionals. I almost only do the edges, but I will do the middle because it's quite long and I don't want that sinking feeling. Ha ha, pardon the pun. On a boat card. So then we just need to work out where I'm going to put it and where I'm going to have the dimensionals. Oh, I might put it over here actually. Move it over a little bit. Oh, not too far over or it'll be off the card, Joe. There we go. And now I'll stick that. Oh. Another thing, I can't pick up cardstock. Whoops, sorry. Okay, some more tape on the back. See, look at that. I can't pick it up. Oh, got it. There we go. All this fumbling and we're getting there. So remember, this is Night of Navy and Balmy Blue, which I think is a really lovely combination. And while I started with a feminine card, the same layout has been used for a masculine one. So if you ever get stuck, you can always mix and match sketches that you might see, or colour combinations, or take an element from a particular card that you like and utilise that in a different way, and then you end up with some wonderful creations, and you might just find something new along the way as well. I'm just checking my notes to make sure that I've not forgotten anything for you, but as a general rule, like when you look at the layout, they're the same but different. So we've got the retired items and we've got current items as well. So I think that will make for a really great birthday card for Brett tomorrow. So thank you for stopping and coming and watching what I'm doing. I appreciate your time, and I'll read through the comments as I said, and if there's any questions, certainly leave them and I'll comment, and I'll also leave a list of items that I've used. But these can all be found in the annual catalogue. If you don't have one, contact me and I can send it out to you, or contact your demonstrator that you've already got. So thanks again. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye.